I want to start again and say, hey everybody, my name is Sally Griffin, aka Millionaire Yogi, and I help visionaries become world-changing influencers. And what I'd like to do to start with is just to acknowledge where everybody is from. It's amazing. So I'm going to just zoom in here. Oh, there's somebody from Bulgaria. Amazing. Alora is one of my oldest best friends, or shall I say, we've hung out a long time together rather than my oldest best friend. We've got LA, we've got West Hollywood, we've got San Diego, oh, Los Angeles, great, Cardiff, Wales, Boston, Seattle, Dallas, Bristol, England, oh no, Polish from Bristol, oh yeah, Dagmara, San Francisco, Sue from Sunnydale, Kansas City, Livermore, Brighton, UK. And you kind of get the sense of like this community just coming in at this point. And what an amazing community you are, of healers, of people who are up to something. I imagine you've got a bit of a spiritual side to you, because I attract people who are in that realm. So I wanted to kick off the morning with something that is going to give you your morning, our afternoon. We say tomato, you say tomato. I want to give you something that's a little bit sending you back into your own inner space right now. We've just gathered all around the world, and now I want to send you back into your space. If anybody needs a quick pee break, this would be a good time to do it. You know, and mute yourself, because the last time I was on this, I went for a pee break and I did a silly song to my cats, because I do. I was singing a little song, and then I had the assistant sending me these urgent messages. We can hear you singing this stupid song, and we could also hear the toilet flush. So now's your time. And then we're gonna just start. And I'd like you to come back and shut your eyes. And I'm going to take you on a little journey. And we start with finding out really what your story is. So everybody shut their eyes. Monty, can you hear this noise? And keeping your legs crossed, uncross them now. And your hands, if they're crossed, uncross them too. Allow your body to start to gently sink into the seat that you're in. And for your whole awareness to go inward, and for you to feel truly relaxed. Start to breathe very deeply. So let's take 3 deep breaths together. You've got your eyes shut. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And another one of those. Deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And one more of those. Deep breath in and exhale. And as you continue to breathe like this, I'd like you to start to imagine that you're breathing with every cell of your body. You're breathing in this fresh energy of spring into every cell of your body, making your cells vibrant and shiny and alive. And as you exhale, you're breathing out any worry, fear, or upset. As you breathe in again, start breathing into places that you don't normally breathe into, like the back of the heart. Breathing deeply into the back of the heart, creating more space with this vibrant spring energy. And as you're breathing out, release any doubt, disappointment, or frustration. Continue to breathe like this and move into areas that you don't normally look at. So imagine the back of the throat. breathing into the back of the throat, bringing fresh, vibrant energy in. And as you exhale, you're releasing any tension, anything around the coronavirus, anything that's worrying you right now, letting it go. And as you continue to breathe like that, I want you to arrive in a place in nature which is perfect for you. So allow yourself to go to this very beautiful place. It could be a desert, it could be a forest, it could be the ocean. Anywhere that really suits you. And allow yourself to just breathe with nature the same way you're breathing with every cell of your body. As you look around, notice in a 360-degree space where you are. And as you continue to breathe, look down at your feet and you realize that you are naked and your feet are bare. Have a look at the quality of the earth that you are standing or sitting on. Look at the texture. And if you can, even get a sense of the scent of this earth that you are on. Allow your senses to open, just like an awakening in the back of the heart as you're breathing into this space. As all the world is in constriction, you are now opening, allowing your heart energy to expand. And see if you can hear anything. And notice if you can smell anything on the wind. It's the perfect temperature, and you feel completely free and safe. And presently you feel that it's time that you're going to go for a walk. So you get up and you see at the base of your feet, there is already a pathway. The stones on this pathway are like white crystal, smoothed by thousands of people who have walked before you. And you wander off following this beautiful white path, and the stones feel so smooth and ancient to your feet. And as you wander off, you find yourself coming towards a body of water. It is the most beautiful, magical pool with turquoise water and a beautiful waterfall spilling into it from high above. And you are told that this is a magical place, the place to cleanse any sorrows, anything that no longer serves you. And as you stand by this beautiful waterfall, looking down into the water, you start to release anything that is no longer needed. Any sadness about the current situation in the world, any sadness about the environment, any sadness about Mother Earth, and then maybe a few more personal ones about feeling restricted in your home. Maybe you're worried about your job. And you pour all of these worries straight into the water. And as you do so, you see the waters starting to bubble and becoming very rough, as if the churning of all this worry and concern is being churned up and magically released. As you look into the water, you gradually see that the water becomes very still and calm. And you take a deep breath in, knowing that truly You are exactly where you're meant to be. Beside the pool, there is a beautiful robe, and you place this robe on you and you notice the color. The fabric feels delicious on your skin. And now with your new robe, you follow the path out of this place and you start to find that it goes up a little incline. As you look from left to right, you notice incredibly beautiful nature all around you. And you feel that you've dropped a layer. Your feet are grounded on this crystalline pathway, which is smooth to the soles of your feet. And as you come up a small incline, you see before you a crystal spiral staircase. You know that you are going to go up it. And as you come to the base of the staircase, you realize this is an entry to a very magical place. And you make a choice. I am going to go up this staircase, and you're going to go up 7 levels. And so placing your hand, you start to hold on to this crystal banister and walk your way up. You move past the first level and you start to feel lighter. And something tells you that the staircase itself is a frequency changer, that every step you take, it's starting to change the frequency of your very cells. You move up to the second level and you feel so much lighter. Breathing is incredibly easy now. The expanse that you had when we started was quite tight in the back of the heart. But now you feel that you could expand the heart into a 360-degree space. As you keep moving up with your bare feet, you feel this shimmer almost inside the stones as you walk up it. And you realize that this is an electromagnetic field, and you move past level 3. You now start to feel as if every cell in your body is full of a vibrant new energy. And you start to remember the good things about your life as you move towards level 4. The friends that you have, the pets that you have, your favorite places on the planet, good conversation, and you're already up to level 5, feeling so light in your heart. And as if you are starting to lose sense of the matter, of the form. From level 5 upwards, you realize that you have become quite iridescent. You look at your arms and you look and see that you can see through your own body. You continue moving up, gathering with you all those thoughts of connections that you have in the world who are important to you. And knowing that this group of souls who gather around you are always with you, that you have come in with a soul group, and that you realize you have come in also to be here at this time. You move past level 6, and you realize there's hardly anything left of your physical form. You are just an energy, buzzing, floating, feeling this vibrancy. And as you enter level 7, the staircase ends, and you have walked all the way clockwise, all the way up, and you step off at level 7. When you're at this level, you realize that you are surrounded by a group of energy beings as large as a city. There are people, a vast group of people in the landscape as far as the mind and the eye can see. And they show up as vibrations. And you realize that for you to be in this space, you indeed have had to increase your frequency. That you have now increased your frequency to the level of the highest vibration that is possible while still being human. And in this place, you go to the center of what appears to be like an amphitheater. Surrounding you are faces that sometimes you recognize and sometimes you don't, because the energy of each form merges in and out of light and formlessness, and sometimes has a reference to it. At the center of this auditorium or stadium, you feel that you are in the middle of a spotlight, and as the light shines on you, you feel this incredible unconditional love. It's as if your very cells are just filled with this elixir of well-being. And you are asked a question. What did you really come here to do? What did you really come here to do? And in this place, there are no masks. There are no lies. There is only authenticity. And as you start to answer, the group of beings who are witnessing you are sending out frequencies of high vibrational love to support you and acknowledge your true essence. You are asked to think of 3 words that encapsulates everything that you are, everything that your energy is. Allow those 3 words to come into your consciousness. Allow yourself to really feel who you are. Continue breathing at this very high frequency vibration. And all the souls who are with you, who have been with you for many, many seasons of the soul cycle, are sending you all their love and support. And you are given a piece of information that in the pause that we are in, that you are going to find your way to a much higher level. And you have a sense of this, but you may not know exactly what that looks like. But referring to your 3 words as a vibration, imagine them in front of you like a neon colored sign, but also vibrating in front of you. And you gather this energy and you put it into your pockets of your beautiful colored robe. As you look around this space, you realize that you have always been here, and that circumstances change, but your form will never change. And as if you know now it's time to leave, you walk backwards to the top of the staircase, and you just simply lean backwards. And as you do so, you find yourself falling through space, held up in the most beautiful way. Falling, falling, falling through the atmosphere. And as you look down, you realize you can see the whole of the planet below you. And you see this beautiful Mother Earth with no pollution, with vibrant energy where any life forms are. High frequency that you can pick up almost like a sensor. And you send all you can to this beautiful planet and all you can to all living beings, because you have come from this place of love and you are now sending love. And as you continue on your journey, you now feel that you are being held by a cloud, which gently deposits you back in the beautiful earth sanctuary where you were at the beginning of your journey. You find yourself coming all the way back into your senses and back into your form that is a body. Looking around at this beautiful nature scene again, but realizing that you are operating at a much higher frequency now. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And now we're going to come out of this by rubbing your hands, keeping your eyes closed. Rub your hands, rub, 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 rub. Generate heat. Place them over your closed eyes and breathe in. And exhale. And again, rub, 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 rub. Place them over your closed eyes, breathe in. And exhale. And one more of those. Rub, 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 rub. Generate heat. Place them over your closed eyes. Breathe in. And exhale. And now you can rub your hair, your face, front of your throat, back of your neck. Roll your neck around and allow yourself to come back into the space. So I want to welcome you back and say that a lot of us, even if we are already okay, have been carrying a lot of that energy of heaviness, and that we just let go of a lot of it. And I think you will also notice that when you are in a place like that we journeyed to, you become very clear on the essence of who you are and what you're really here to do. In fact, the messages, if some people want to even just put them into the chat, it would be very interesting to hear what your 3 words were, if you can remember. And it's okay if you don't remember, because sometimes we go so deep in these processes that people don't necessarily remember. Ah, Sally, that's great. Writing, thriving, abundance. And you're a writer. Kelly, nature, connection, soul. Light, sharing, love from Vicky. And you see what a level of incredible high frequency, love, persistence, and resilient. Love, this is Michelle Boss. Oops, you zipped up there. Love, healing, peace, spirit, love, creativity. From Lygia. No, I always get your name wrong. Licia. Spirit, love, creativity. Yvonne, healer, writer, teacher. Julie Brooks, love, light, healing. Shazia, freedom, fun, friendship. Yvonne, peace, creativity, love. Farrell, creative, sensitive, resilient. From Natasha, hey darling. Light, freedom, connection. Patty, hello darling. Joy, creativity, love. From Mark and Jenny. From Jenny, creativity, wisdom, forgiveness. From Monty, courage, authority, love. And can you feel the level of what this is when we get to this level? We're no longer operating on what we do as a job, what our identity is in the world, what we have, what we don't have, what we're upset about, what we aren't upset about. It takes us to this level of, are we really, in some level, delivering at that high frequency? And some of you know that I've described this before, that when we are given permission, and sometimes we need to be given permission, because as children we've been squashed, you know, institutionalized teaching often squashes people. Parents, though they try their best, end up squashing people. And what you end up with is a squashed persona that maybe doesn't shine as brightly as it could. And when you are given permission like this to just be you, then none of these are low level frequencies. They're really high level. It takes you away from that sense of worry that I'm sure all of us have been having worries recently, even if you're like, you have a concrete heart. There are worries going on in that world. And this is a sense of starting to get you back to who you really are and what you're really here to do. Now, if you imagine that group of people, us, vibrating at this level and influencing everybody, this would be permission to be your biggest self, permission to be magnificent, permission to follow your dreams, permission to have that adventure. And recently I was speaking to somebody who I work with in a magical group. So somebody who is already high frequency. But the effect of this recent coronavirus episode was that when we were doing some light activation work about, one of the themes was, what would be an adventure that you want to go on? And I want you to just consider, what would be an adventure that you would like to go on? Well, this good friend of mine was like this. Well, if the planes were working and we were allowed to fly to blah, 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 blah. And then and it was like, I was like, oh, stop it. Like, adventure, you know? And he was like, oh, and if the travel agents were open, and I was like, oh my God, would you just stop it? Like, permission to have adventure. Because guess what? There will be a time when the locks are lifted and we will be back out there. In fact, it will be the opposite. There's so much constriction going on now, like this, of us handling stuff, that I know that I'm not very bored as a person, but I do know that I had this little dialogue going on in my head going, oh, I'm going to be so bored with this. Actually, I'm not. I've got my routine. I've got my yoga and my 1 day out, my 1 hour out. And I'm not bored, but the mind plays silly tricks with you when you feel that you're in constriction, right? And there will be a point when we equally explode to the other extreme, when those locks are lifted. So I want you to get a sense of, now's the time to get in touch with these frequencies of who you really are. And a symbol for you to understand the way that works. And so I work with people to help them in business. I focus on business because I never wanted to be a life coach, because I didn't want to deal with just, my husband, you know, doesn't wash the dishes, right? It's not my vibe. Like, deal with it. I don't want to deal with that. But if you were able to expand, and let's say it's not even a job level, or let's put it into a creative project level. I have that conversation. Like, if you are really given permission for that adventure, then what would you really be up to? And at the beginning, people who have spent a lot of time doing skill sets that they think they should, or they ought to, or they have to be good at something, and so they've ended up in a corporate career like that. They are some of the hardest people to get back into that mode of adventure, to just say, well, permission to explode. What would that be like? What would your explosion be like? That light force going across the world. And it's a little bit like a lighthouse. As the beam goes round and round and round, your frequency starts to get stronger when you tap into who you really are. And a little bit like in the beginning, the people who are trying to find you and your message, which we're going to go on to messaging soon with Jenny and Mark, it's very much like at the beginning, you're sometimes on, you're sometimes off, you're crackly. It's like turning an old radio dial. You kind of get it sometimes. And messaging is so hard to get from that place of like love, energy, healer, creativity to what do I want to do with it? That at the beginning, it's like a radio going in and out. But by the end of it, if you are able to follow your adventure, your dreams, your truth, your highest frequency, then you will create that as your world, your life, your job, your whatever, your path as an entrepreneur. And it's like suddenly all your people can find you. They know where you are on the radio station. They just turn the dial, you're right there. There's no crackle. It's clarity, just like that. And this is part of what we're working with today to help you tell your story and to get to a place where rather than being stuck in these murky waters of, oh, I am my job, I am my clothes, I am my car, I am my all of this, you are your frequency. And when you're your frequency, you know you are so true to self, you couldn't be anything else. Sally is saying 55 is the archetype of the new, oh, we've got 55 people on right now. It's the archetype of the new earth. Amazing. We collectively are birthing a new world. And I'm with you on that one. Part of it is keeping our frequencies high. Like, you know, there is life after Corona, you know. And one of the things, just on a very basic level, I've been saying to people, when was the last time you had flu? Like, really? I can't even remember. I cannot even remember when I had flu. I remember that 8 years ago, I stopped drinking because I was in a shamanic ayahuasca circle, and I saw from a higher perspective that alcohol was not good for me. And it was really like taken out of my appetite, if you like. I wasn't an alcoholic, I was just a social drinker. But even so, I had no idea of the implications of what it was doing to me, like a poison. This is not a no alcohol talk, just so you get that. For me, it was just instant revelation, like, oh my God, this doesn't work for me at all. And when I stopped drinking, I think I've had maybe a tiny weeny little cold in the last 8 years, literally. So when you start to think about what viruses are, they're floating around all over the place. I mean, people are wearing masks thinking they're going to jump on you and you're going to get one, like jumping on you. It's not like that. Most of us are flowing with the whole energetic of viruses and various different things. And it's about increasing frequency at this time to keep you healthy, to keep the immunity up. And so just to remind you, like, ask yourself that question when you're diving into a whirlwind of fear. When was the last time you had flu? I hope it wasn't that long ago, but let's put it this way. This will be another one of those. It will be one of the flus that's out there. And most people will handle it. Most people will just experience it like the bummer of a flu. And we need this conversation rather than the body count conversation, right? So that's putting it into a very modern context right now, because most people who are inundated with the news and watching all of that, especially at a time of escalation, because it's in its exponential phase of a virus, which they all do, and then they drop, and they all do. So right now we need these kind of conversations. You may find that this is one of the most exciting periods of your life, because suddenly you get so clear on what you want to do after this, or who you want to be, where you want to go, all of that. this is like that pause, like a spiritual training that we're in all together, kind of an enforced spiritual training where you get to see who you really are. So we're coming almost up to the first hour. I'd love to break into Monty. Monty, speak with me.
Sally, are you looking for me?
I'm looking for you out there in LA, where I wanted to be. Yeah, I just want to have this because Mark and Jenny are actually going to do some hot seating with people who want to talk about messaging. But just so that we keep coherent on the intros, we're moving in with this energy of who we really are. Tell me who you really are. What were your 3 words?
My 3 words were courage, authenticity, and then I couldn't remember the third one. And so love had been in the mix. And then when you read Shazia's, it was freedom. So it's courage, authority, and freedom. Yeah, and authority has just been coming up really clear for me lately.
Okay. And can you tell us how that might form almost like the essence of the project, shall we say? Because I don't want to just lock it down as work, right? It's bigger than that, as who you are. Tell us a bit like how that relates to you.
Yeah, it comes in and that like I'm in a really pivotal moment over like I've been doing self-work for about 14 years. And just in the, it's like, there's always these like layers and moments and where things just kind of like they ramp up and it feels like I've got it all. But recently I've been reading about, like I wasn't raised with any kind of religion, you know, and so I've been interested in everything, you know, being, you know, like doing things with you. It was like, okay, you know, like, cool, I'm open to it. Let's check it out. And recently I read The Universal Christ, which is an amazing book by Richard Rohr, who's a priest for like he's written like 30 books. And he talks about how the Catholic Church has just ruined Christianity. You know, it's been, you know, wars have been fought, you know, just like people use the Bible as not everybody, but a lot of people like, you know, priests, everybody use the Bible as a weapon. You know, they weaponize the words instead of going, and there's like this, I can't remember it, I'll mess it up, but there's this comma in this statement about Jesus's life where it's like he was born, these people raised him, comma, and then he died on the cross. And it leaves out everything that he taught. And that's what like God is really about. It's the Christ. And so it kind of downloaded everything I've ever believed, you know, with my movement, Rebel Consciousness. It's like, I've always been seen as this rebel. Like anytime I'm on a team, it's like, oh, Monty's not going to, you know, like, why, okay, why do you want to fight the team right now? It's like, well, I don't believe in it because of this, you know what I mean? And so it's always about like finding my authority, but it's my authority with God and how God is speaking through me. And so now I'm into conversations with God and it's just really like, really hitting home for me. And it's the actual truth of the universe you know, and so I spoke into it the other day. And so on a Facebook Live for the first time, I talked about God, which I've never done before. And so for me, and when I got in it, it's like now, like wearing this is something that I would love to wear. You know what I mean? It's not usual. It's not normal. I came up with this outfit, I don't know, like 8 or 9 months ago when I was just playing. And then, you know, you wanted like goddessy goddess kind of stuff. And I was like, that's it. You know, and what I got, it's like me really truly stepping into exactly who I'm meant to be. What I'm reading right now is like God is expressing through all of us. And even the things that seem bad, it's to create the contrast. Like you cannot know your magnificence unless you can truly experience the opposite. And so, you know, and it's like, we can't judge anything that's happening. Like literally everything is God. And so for me to really truly express myself and step into everything that I'm called to do and be and say, that's where the courage comes in. You know, being in my authority that I am true to who I am and, you know, what my creator has made me to be. And then that unleashes the freedom. And the more that I step into this, the more that I see people, you know, coming to me, you know, people wanting to be around it, you know, thanking me. You know, one of the people that I'm mentoring yesterday, you know, just saying, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're my mentor. You know, you're so courageous and bold and, you know, and how you present yourself and what you're doing. And the truth is, and I responded back, thank you very much for the feedback because it's taken a lot to get here. you know, and the more that I do it, the more that it frees other people, you know, the higher that we raise in consciousness, you know, the more that it opens it up, the opportunity for other people. And so that's like my life project, you know. I realized years ago in a what was it? It was some breath work. It's like a 10 session. I can't rebirthing. I was in rebirthing, and normally you're laying down. Anyway, I had risen and I was standing like this for whatever reason, and I heard ring in my head, "I am the Christ. I am the Christ. I am the Christ," 3 times, and it was so strange that I almost didn't tell my rebirther because I thought I was a little like, you know, crazy. It's like, calm down, Monty. Take it easy. Like, I'm pretty cool. But, and that I did share with her, and she said, no, Christ consciousness, we are all the Christ, you know, and it's a level of being. And so what I'm pursuing is to become like completely non-judgmental. Like that's where I'm going, you know, and when I don't judge me and I don't judge you, you know, I can be extremely patient. And when I'm at the grocery store and somebody's kind of losing it, you know, because somebody's too close to them and you don't have a mask on, you know, I can be calm for them, you know, and not take it personally. And then, you know, that can calm them down. And then when they run into the next person, they can be calm for that person.
Yeah, no, that's great. And for all of you, if you just wrote 3 words down and you remember your words, just the way Monty's talked about his, if you saw those every day and then you just went, and that's what I'm doing, that's who I'm being, just that, we would have so much connection, because, you know, it would be like, hi, who are you? Oh, I'm love, light, and freedom. Oh, I'm, you know, whatever. And there's just no barriers because you stop dealing with everybody's mask. So this is the first part of the storytelling, getting you to go back to the very, very first part of really who you are, being very authentic with it. And throughout the sessions that we're going to be doing with these amazing gang that I have, we're about to do with Mark and Jenny, you're going to up level the pieces of information throughout so that we create some magnificence by the end of it. Now, a little technical thing. It's a little technical thing. I want to stop recording and then start recording again, because what I don't want to do is send everybody like 3 hours or 7 hours of recording, right? So rather than doing the editing, I'm going to do it this way. So it's a great time for a pee break. Everybody go, or a tea break. And I'm just going to briefly stop the recording and then start again. And that way I can manage the length of this. But in the meantime, anybody would like to have a tea break, have a pee break, and tell us how this is going for you. I'm going to stop.